It was moving.
Oh, it's all right.
Y'all live on Facebook. Say what's up real quick, man.
What's going on? What's going on, Dante Nation fans? Bo Mac.
Bo Mac, Terrence Crawford trainer right here.
Watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
Y'all see it. Y'all hear it. Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? Now, you guys know on this channel, I done told you a long time ago that Bob Arum, this is the fight that he has been trying to force Manny Pacquiao to take. Bob Arum is putting tremendous pressure on Manny Pacquiao to take this Terrence Crawford fight. And now we know that for a fact when you hear what Manny Pacquiao's own trainer, Freddie Roach, just recently said in a recent interview. Let me go ahead and quote exactly what Freddie Roach had to say about this situation. Quote, "The last time I talked to Arum, he called me up and he told me that Crawford is the guy we're trying to make and so forth. He said, you're going to have to fight him sooner or later. You might be better off fighting him now. What weight do you want? And so forth. So I said, if we do fight him, we'll fight him at 47. Bring him up in weight, maybe slow him down a little bit. I know he does have a little bit of trouble making 40, but I think he'll be maybe not as quick and as good at 47, end quote." So there you have it right there. Bob Arum is not taking no for an answer, according to what Freddie Roach said. Once again, I told you guys, I knew from day one that Bob Arum, he really wanted to make this fight. But now he's basically saying to Team Pacquiao, you're going to have to fight him. One way or the other, you're going to fight Crawford. So you guys need to decide if you're going to do it now or later, but you're going to have to fight him. What's so interesting about this is usually when Bob Arum, just gives Manny Pacquiao an easy opponent to fight, of course, Manny Pacquiao, he takes the fight right away. But whenever Bob Arum offers him a real tough opponent like this is when you get resistance from Manny Pacquiao. So when you hear Manny Pacquiao say stuff like, oh, it's up to my promoter, whoever my promoter tells me to fight, no, that's not necessarily true. If that opponent is too tough, then all of a sudden it becomes up to Manny Pacquiao. See, the whole thing with Manny Pacquiao going up against Terrence Crawford, I notice a lot of fans, you guys love to compare. And this is so crazy to me because I notice whenever a fighter that these decafs, they actually like and defend, whenever that fighter is being criticized, and rightfully so being criticized, you know what name they always compare the fighter they're defending to? You know what name they always bring up? They always bring up Floyd Mayweather's name in comparison all the time. And it's so ironic because these are the same fans, whenever I say something true about Floyd Mayweather, they'll say, why are you bringing up his name? Why are you bringing up his name, right? But every single time, I'm talking about going all the way back to Leo Santa Cruz ducking Guillermo Rigondeaux. When he was ducking Rigo, you know who they compared Leo to? Floyd Mayweather. They say, oh, well, what about Floyd? Like Leo Santa Cruz is #1 pound for pound, and everyone is praising him as Michael Jordan of the sport, right? It's a ridiculous comparison. Don't get me wrong, Leo Santa Cruz is a good fighter, but you can compare Leo Santa Cruz to anyone. You could have compared him to Canelo. You could have compared him to Juan Manuel Marquez. Why would you compare him to Floyd Mayweather? It doesn't make any sense. But they do this all the time. Whenever there's a fighter ducking someone, turning down a fight, or just made themselves look bad, this is the name they always bring up, Floyd Mayweather's name. But once again, they say they don't want you to bring his name up. So obviously what they really mean is they don't want to hear anything true about him. They want to hear you say some stuff like, that boring black bastard and all this kind of stuff. Now you say that, you're okay. You can keep bringing his name up. Just don't bring his name up saying some true stuff that I don't want to subscribe to. This is basically the point that they're trying to make. So when you try to compare Manny Pacquiao, because once again, this is what they always do. They say, hey, well, Floyd, he did the same thing that Manny Pacquiao is doing. Not true at all. First of all, Manny Pacquiao, he has not really faced a Canelo Alvarez type of opponent, which means someone young, strong, up and coming, a possible future star that has the ability to not only beat him, but possibly hurt him or knock him out. Manny Pacquiao has not been in the ring with a guy like that. And we all know Floyd Mayweather has. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and pull up their records for a second. All right, so I'm over here on BoxRec.com. Let's go ahead and look at Manny Pacquiao's last 6 opponents. And then we're going to look at Floyd Mayweather's last 6 opponents. All right. So you have Brandon Rios, Tim Bradley a second time, Chris Algieri, Floyd Mayweather, Tim Bradley a third time, and Jesse Vargas. All right. Now let's look at Floyd Mayweather's last 6 opponents. Okay, starting with Robert the Ghost Guerrero. So Robert the Ghost Guerrero, we already know he had just came off of his biggest win, which was over Andre Berto at the time. So he fought Robert the Ghost Guerrero. Then he fought Saul Canelo Alvarez, an opponent that fans were saying Floyd Mayweather was ducking. Floyd Mayweather not only fought him, but he fought him with a 15-pound weight advantage that Canelo brought into the ring. Canelo was 15 pounds bigger, and he was nearly 14 years younger, undefeated, 2-time champion at a higher weight class. Okay? Then Floyd Mayweather fought Marcos Maidana, who just came off of his biggest win, pulled off a huge upset, beating Adrian Broner. The first Maidana fight was so close, you had some fans who even said that Maidana was robbed. And they said that Floyd Mayweather never gives opponents rematches, right? So Floyd Mayweather gives the guy who gave him the toughest fight probably since Castillo, he gives him a rematch, he fights him again. Then he fights Manny Pacquiao, then he fights Andre Berto. So you tell me, who fought the better competition when it comes to their last 6 opponents? It's a rhetorical question. We already know that. Once again, everyone that Floyd Mayweather faced, they were coming off of their biggest win. Okay? Not only were they coming off of their biggest win, but once again, Maidana was almost 20 pounds bigger than Floyd. Canelo was 15 pounds bigger than Floyd and almost 14 years younger than Floyd. Just the Maidana and the Canelo fights alone would have been Manny Pacquiao's toughest fights, no doubt about it. Can you imagine Manny Pacquiao going against Canelo, who's going to be 15, 20 pounds bigger than him? Can you imagine him going against Maidana, 20 pounds bigger than him? Maidana is already one of the strongest punchers. Imagine him being 20 pounds bigger than you, all over you like a cheap suit. So this is the dilemma that Manny Pacquiao has when fans try to say stuff like, Manny Pacquiao, he doesn't have to fight anybody. He can fight whoever he wants now. You're right. You guys are absolutely right. Manny Pacquiao can fight whoever he wants to fight. He can fight all the Jeff Horns that he wants to fight. But the question is, how does Manny Pacquiao want to be remembered? Because you guys have to remember, in every sport you have a Super Bowl, you have the finals, you have the gold medal match, etc., etc. The only difference is, in the sport of boxing, that Super Bowl, it doesn't come all the time. It may not come every year for you. It may come only a couple times in your career, right? So when Manny Pacquiao lost to Floyd Mayweather, he lost the Super Bowl, okay? The question is, Does Manny Pacquiao want to be remembered for losing the Super Bowl? They come back the very next season with aspirations of winning the Super Bowl again, right? So when it comes to Manny Pacquiao, if he has an opportunity to win the Super Bowl against Terrence Crawford, and the reason why I call that fight the Super Bowl, that's Manny Pacquiao's Super Bowl. Why? Because we all know that Crawford would be his most dangerous opponent. Even Freddie Roach believes, if you listen to Freddie Roach believes that Terrence Crawford is more dangerous than Floyd Mayweather. Freddie Roach's exact words were, Terrence Crawford is pretty much like a Floyd Mayweather, but with more power. So with him saying that, that would definitely be Manny Pacquiao's Super Bowl. And the truth is, Manny Pacquiao, once again, he doesn't have to fight Crawford if he doesn't want to, but it really comes down to how he wants to be remembered. And a lot of fans, they say this because even Manny Pacquiao fans believe that Terrence Crawford would beat Manny Pacquiao. Understandably so. They believe Terrence Crawford would beat him. I, for one, believe that is a 50-50 fight. There's no guarantee Crawford wins that fight. But it all comes down to how Manny Pacquiao wants to be remembered. Do you just want to be remembered as the guy that lost the fight of the decade to Floyd Mayweather? Or do you want to be remembered as the guy that lost and then resurrected his career by beating one of the toughest up-and-coming rising stars in the sport of boxing? Well, according to Bob Arum, Manny Pacquiao doesn't really have too much of a choice, and that explains why Manny Pacquiao is now saying, okay, well, if I have to fight him, I want $1 zillion, right? Now, the thing with Manny Pacquiao, he knows damn well that his pay-per-view numbers have definitely been on the decline in recent years, which explains why he's not going to be making $20 million anytime soon. And this may even be the reason why Bob Arum is now talking about possibly putting a Pacquiao versus Jeff Horn fight on free TV if, Manny Pacquiao does decide to, once again, turn down the Crawford fight and take Jeff Horn. To me, and this is just my personal opinion, but Bob Arum, he could possibly be sending a message to Manny Pacquiao. He can basically be saying, look, man, if you're not going to fight a tough opponent like Terrence Crawford, don't expect to get paid crazy money. Because if you want to fight Jeff Horn, then guess what? You're going to get Jeff Horn money instead of Terrence Crawford money. Okay? So that, like I said, that could be the situation. We don't know. But it's getting really interesting. It's getting really interesting because I've rarely seen Bob Arum trying to force his fighters to fight a tough young lion as much as he's trying to do right now.
This is Bobby, and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.